Detroit, Michigan. What up, doe? You are live on the zone. The following contest is scheduled for 6 rounds in the heavyweight division. Being brought to you tonight by Salida Promotions in association with King's Promotions. 313 presents OnlyFans, M Select Luxury Water, Hotel St. Regis Detroit, Lush Lawn, Generations, and Fight for Mental Health. The 3 judges for this matchup are Rose Gross, Vincent Santino, and Gerard White. Introducing your fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black, red, and gold trunks. Standing 5 feet 10 inches tall, he weighed in at 252 pounds. He comes to the ring with a record of 5 wins and 6 losses, with 3 of those big victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of and representing Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, here is Lemir Bang Bang Isom Riley. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the black, gold, and silver trunks. Standing 6 feet 2 inches tall, he weighed in at 219 pounds. He comes to the ring undefeated with a perfect record of 3 wins, no losses, and no draws, with 2 of those big victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of and representing Flint, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, here is Sardius Simmons. Your referee, Ben Rodriguez, with final fight instruction.
All right, gentlemen, belt lines are both good at the middle of the waistband up, okay? You both receive my instructions, so you know what I expect. Obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times, touch gloves. God bless you both.
Well, it's been a really remarkable journey for Sardius Simmons. We mentioned that he is this year's National Golden Gloves winner at heavyweight. He also won that title in 2016, then had surgery on both rotator cuffs, had to come all the way back, and nearly a decade later, won the Golden Gloves once again, now 3-0 as a pro. And Al, tonight gets a good test here against Lemir Isom Riley, a guy who's kind of the quintessential Pennsylvania fighter, an untidy record that doesn't tell the full story.
Yeah, absolutely. He's fought good competition early. Fighters are 6-1, 9-1, 11-0, 6-0-1. He's got a couple of wins against those guys, and he punches with power, and he will give Simmons a lot to think about.
See Simmons now switching to the southpaw stance, and Raul, in fighter meetings, we made reference to another Flint-based heavyweight who was a southpaw, a little undersized. Of course, you're very familiar with Mr. Chris Bird.
Absolutely, yeah, my Olympic teammate for the '92 Olympics. Actually, I had the time to tell Simmons that I used to spar with Chris Bird. Of course, I was 156 and he was 165, but he ended up winning the heavyweight championship of the world. So, you know, for me to be a part of sparring with Chris Bird was a great honor. And as you can see right now, Simmons using his skills, you know, stabbing him with the jab, controlling the range, mid to long range. That's where he needs to keep the fight at for now.
Of course, Simmons comes from that same lineage. Chris Bird trained at the Burston Field House for a period of time in his career as well, where Simmons has honed his craft alongside the likes of Claressa Shields. You can see here in the early going, that sharp left hand that's landed a number of times already, Al.
Yeah, Simmons mostly fights lefty. He will switch around if he started this as a righty, but I think he's most comfortable as a lefty.
Right work there from Simmons, who doubles up on the right hook as Isom Riley steps in with a nice right hand of his own. And he described himself as an aggressive swarmer. He wants to be all over Simmons as much as possible in this space, Raul.
Yeah, he has no choice. You know, he's got to work himself in there. Like, look, he's got to keep him there on the ropes. He's got him on the ropes. He's got to work the body, hit the arms. That was a good overhand right by Isom Riley. He's doing a good job of, you know, putting his big body on him and to try to wear down Simmons.
And Riley is a good body puncher as well. He put Anthony Zepeda down with body shots. Zepeda was 6-1 at the time, so he can punch down there as well. It's going to be an interesting fight. And for Simmons, a test a push up from the people he's been fighting.
Inside the final 30 seconds of the opening round. Good little stretch there for Isom Riley as Simmons tries to get back with that left hand to the body.
Oh, nice left hand again.
Full counter there by Simmons. As the seconds tick away in the opening round, more good body work from the Flint native as we are underway here in the Motor City.
There we see where he makes a miss, goes up to the body with his right hand. That was a good shot by Simmons. I think he controlled the range very well in that last round. Besides, you know, here Isom Riley had some good moments. I think Simmons stayed a little bit too much on the ropes. He needs to stay away from the ropes in that second round. His fight is more in the center of the ring.
Let them hands go a little more. We need 3s and 4s.
Yep. Double up on that jab. That jab gonna set up everything. Double up on that jab and sidestep him from it.
Come on, Simmons. Keep it smooth, baby. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, Simmons. Come on. 1, 2. Watch your knees.
It's round 2 underway. Good start for Sardius Simmons. He goes right back downstairs to the body. A couple of good moments in that opening round for Lemir Isom Riley, who's giving up a lot in terms of amateur pedigree. Just 5 amateur fights in comparison to the 257 for Sardius Simmons.
Slight difference, yeah.
Now, I tell you what, you could tell the difference. You know, just look at Simmons' skills. You know, I mean, he had 257 amateur fights, and like you said, Corey, only 5 amateur fights for Isom Riley. So, you know, that's the type of guy that's kind of learning on the job. That's what we call it, right? But he's a tough opponent. He's not an easy fight for Simmons.
No,
it's a great test so far.
He really isn't, and he's smart enough to know that right here, even though not everything's landing, he might be smothering a few of his punches. That's where he wants to be with Simmons.
Right hand to the body there from Isom Riley. Former Marine who was a talented football player in high school, comes from a family of NFL players. And he's using that physicality here. Physicality versus slickness right now as Simmons turns the corner and is putting some good shots together here. Nice right hook. Might have Isom Riley in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I think that speed is getting to Isom Riley. Those combination punching. Look at that, 3, 4, 5 combinations.
Good work here from Simmons.
That's as brilliant a 1-minute period as a fighter can have, switching the whole scenario and then coming on with that great offense.
Pull counter there a moment ago from Simmons again.
Isom Riley needs to be a little bit tighter with his defense, a little bit wide. Is allowing Simmons to land more shots, but you know, of course, the speed that Simmons has is getting to Isom Riley. Look at that.
And there's a difference between a fighter coming here to not to try to win and to win. Isom Riley could have kind of mentally shut down at that point. That was a brilliant offensive display by Simmons. He didn't.
And that's exactly, Al, the kind of test a guy that, like Simmons that's coming up, they need those kind of tests. You know, you're going to learn and get better from this kind of experience.
It's a good point, Raul, because in earlier fights, in fighters' careers, that kind of combination would have ended the fight.
Yes.
And now Simmons has to continue thinking. He has to continue to work against a man who isn't going to stop trying to swarm him, even though he's on the wrong end of another good left hand there.
Exactly, you're right, Corey. I mean, Simmons has hit him with his best shots, 3 and 4 punch combinations. He's probably wondering, what do I have to do to get Isom Riley out of here? Go to the body, change it up now. Go some hard shots to the body.
What a round for Sardius Simmons as we head back to the stools.
Well, this was a brilliant moment for Simmons. There had been some good work done, not everything landing, but, you know, Isom Riley had kept him on the ropes, working the body and that, and here's where he spun him around and landed some really good combinations. That straight left hand, which has been a signature punch for Simmons in this fight. And that was just, you know, brilliant work from him, and it obviously turned things totally around in that round.
Well, Puerto Rico's unified WBA, WBO, and Ring Magazine minimum weight world champion Oscar Collazo will make history once again when he defends his titles against Jason Striker Basin tomorrow night, live right here on DAZN.
Defense got to be superb.
Round 3 underway. Magnificent round there for Sardius Simmons in round 2.
One thing we saw evidence of, Simmons said when he was younger, he didn't think he was mature enough for greatness, and that now he's more patient. Well, he showed that patience in that round where he turned things around.
Yeah, Simmons told us that he regrets getting the shoulder surgeries that he did. He wishes that he had just tried to rehab them on his own, but to your point, Al, felt that those hardships that he endured have matured him in a way that has prepared him for this moment.
And he still feels at 31, even with the restart, he can be a great boxing champion.
I love the way he's dissected with the jab, talking about Simmons. You know, he jabs to the body, jabs to the chest. Look, he's trying to set up that left hand. And as you see, he's sitting down more in his left hand. He's trying to get Isom Riley out of there. Sorry about that.
A lot of hyphens
He's looking
there.
for the knockout, yeah.
There's a lot of, yeah, there's hyphens there, so you know.
Riley.
Stay tight in my inside.
Yeah, he's really trying to land that left hand. Keep watching that left hand by Simmons.
You know, on the inside, Isom Riley, when he looks back at this, he'll wish he tried to do more body work. He did earlier. Now he's kind of ignoring it. And that, you know, is important for him to keep him in this fight.
It's good work on the inside here from Simmons. See the wide base, really leaning in to keep Isom Riley at the range that he wants him and doing some terrific work to the body.
You know, Simmons' fight is more at mid to long range, but he's actually doing a pretty good job inside. You know, at short range, he's not a bad outside fighter. I like the way he mixes it up, goes in the inside, goes at mid, long range. He changes it up.
Raul, we referenced him earlier, and I know that Simmons never worked with him directly, but are you tasting some notes of Chris Bird right now a little bit?
A little bit. You know what? And when you see him on the ropes, I think he's trying to... Chris Bird was a master at fighting off the ropes. So I do see a little bit of a Chris Bird in him. Of course, hey, Flint town, guys.
30 seconds here of round 3.
That's a sprint. That's a sprint.
Simmons showing a good array of skills here.
Way to turn him there, too. Goes back with 3 and 4 punch combinations. That's beautiful.
You in great shape.
An uppercut in the left hand right down the middle from Sardius Simmons. Takes a shot right before the bell, but that was another terrific round for the Flint native.
Yeah, Simmons demonstrating from that left-handed stance how well he does do from the outside. He fought some of that round on the inside, and as Raul pointed out, he did well there, but this is where he wants to be and how he lands with a variety of punches to the body and the head. Hey, it never hurts to be a lefty if you're a heavyweight because they don't see too many of them, and they get the job done. And, you know, he's not normally a right hook artist, but in this fight, Simmons has thrown a couple of those, as we saw there.
Hit him and then turn it on. Be right there for it. Aim for that chin. Over, under, back over again. Okay? We want to put a lot of...
Hey, Bang, you gotta make that shit dirty, Bang. Bang, get in there, Bang. Make that shit dirty, Bang.
Round 4 begins. Supporters of Lemir, Isom Riley sitting behind us, giving some good advice, I think, out there, telling him, hey, you have to make this dirty, and indeed, that would be the best approach.
Sometimes you can get good advice from the crowd,
Yes.
though I don't think it's probably a wise thing to listen all the time. There was a left hook by Isom Riley, and you know, he hasn't been able to get that punch in, and that'll be effective against the lefty when you can land it.
Sharp left hand again here from Simmons. Now is able to work at long range a little bit.
They have a common opponent, Michael Shaw. They both stopped him. Isom Riley got a look at Simmons when he was fighting Shaw, and he said that gave him a little bit of a hint of what he was going to be encountering tonight.
Oh, solid shots there by Simmons. I like the way he changes the speeds of the combination now. He's a smart fighter. Look, he's not just in there to throw punches. Every time he's throwing, he's setting it up behind the jab. There's a reason why he throws the left hand. There's a reason why he throws it to the body. There's a reason why he throws his right hook. Very precise, very accurate with his shots. He's a thinking guy in there.
Yeah, and Raul, he's really varying his punch paths as well. He's coming up through the middle with the uppercuts. He's going around the guard. And you can hear his corner asking for more uppercuts and hooks.
Oh, nice left hand. Yeah, and when he does that, Corey, you know, he's different speeds. You know, you throw some, you know, like a 1-2 explosive, then he sits on his left hand. So he's always changing the speeds of the combination. And then I just saw right now, he's spinning him around, like gives him angles. Doesn't stand in front of him the whole time. Good technician, man. He's you could see with the amateur pedigree. And I'm so big on the amateur background, and that's what we're seeing right now, Al.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Simmons has never been 6 rounds before in his career. We're headed to the point where he may be headed into those rounds. Isom Riley has been 6 rounds 5 times. We'll see what the impact is. Right now, Simmons trying to make it maybe not go to the 5th round.
Yeah, well, Isom Riley has been stopped 3 times in his career, and worth noting, he only had 2 weeks' notice for this fight as well, so even getting to this point is somewhat of an admirable effort.
Yeah, it's a very good point.
Well, I know one thing for sure, he's giving him some good rounds of work, and that's exactly what a kid like Simmons needs at this stage of his career. There he's working the ropes again, spinning him off the ropes.
There's that overhand right by Riley. It's still a dangerous punch, and there it is again.
Big left hand right down the middle there from Simmons, and a good exchange at the bell. 2 to go in our opener.
Here we see Simmons, that beautiful work, that 1-2, turns them around, gives them an angle, and then he's right back with 3 and 4 punch combinations. You know, when a guy's in front of you like that, and then he spins you around and he's gone, he's gonna knock you off balance, and then he's coming back with 3 or 4 punch combinations. That makes it worse, Corey.
Simmons said of Isom Riley, he's just a person that's going to help me with my goal of looking good. And Isom Riley certainly has not just allowed that by any means, but Sardius Simmons, I don't think anyone could question, is looking quite good right now.
Yeah, he's taken advantage of the fact that this is an opponent that is engaged with him and is trying very hard. And Simmons goes back to the right-handed stance. It is interesting as his career continues which one he's going to adopt more as a pro. And here's the place where Isom Riley wants to get some things done and has gotten a little done, but Simmons is not bad at fighting off those ropes.
Not at all. I think I think this round, you know, he's really catching his rhythm. He's feeling himself. I like the way he came out and, you know, was giving him angles, making him miss. Now he's fighting off the ropes, which he's doing a good job. He knows what he's doing. He's got a plan. There you go. He's putting him around. He's very relaxed in there. That's what I like about Simmons.
Yeah, this is a very old-school approach on the inside, and then he can put stuff together like this.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. He's so relaxed in there. Definitely letting his hands go.
Oh! Big left hand from Simmons, and that one wobbled Isom Riley. The head snaps back once more. Sardius Simmons on a roll here in round 5.
That was the whole thing I was talking about, changing the speeds of the combination. At the same time, he gives him an angle and he hits him from a different angle. Really has Isom Riley not knowing where he's at. He's lost. That's pure heart right there. He's just, all he's doing is surviving, you know, leaning his big body on him, trying to give him more time, go the distance. I think Simmons could still get him out of there. There you go.
3-punch combination again there from Simmons.
And still a minute left to go in this round, so that flurry came early enough. But you know what? There's the difference between a journeyman that doesn't come to give you everything and a guy that does. Isom Riley could have quit 3 or 4 times in this fight.
He's got big heart, his game.
Yeah.
I mean, for just 2 weeks' notice, I mean, he's putting up a hell of a fight against you know, this guy was a really good amateur, and he's undefeated.
And more importantly, Simmons is performing so well in this fight. So that makes the other effort even more impressive. That's interesting. Isom Riley switches to lefty for a moment.
Yeah, Simmons needs to go back to his jab and punches and bunches, a lot of flurries. It'd be hard to get Isom Riley out of there, Corey.
He is a double tough competitor here. Just took another 3-punch combination, but look at Isom Riley. One more left hook, but in the final second, ate another 1-2 from Sardius Simmons.
Well, Simmons was able to land a very impressive straight left hand that changed the tenor of that round, and after that looked for all the world like he might be able to put Isom Riley down, and not just doing it, but, you know, turning him like that and being able to find exactly the right range.
You don't get hit, you got good head movement. Stop getting hit. Yeah, you got to move that hand. Move the hand.
Smile and a show of respect from both men as we enter the final round of our opening contest. Sardius Simmons and Lemir Isom Riley.
This will be the first time, if he has to go the distance, for Simmons going 6 rounds. So that's yet another thing he can tick off on his list of developmental things as a pro.
Oh, trust me, this type of experience for Simmons is going to pay dividends. It's going to do him well later on in his career.
Corey alluded to the variety of offense that Simmons shows, and I think that is one of the key takeaways from this fight if, you know, somebody's seeing him for the first time.
Well, it's an interesting combination of skills that you don't see all that often at heavyweight. You don't see heavyweights fighting like this. When you do, it's notable.
Yeah, he's quick, he's fast on his feet, he's elusive, you know, fighting very well off the ropes.
Right there, come on. Now work. You got to work after this.
Hey, you in great shape, Sardius. I need this last round.
Sit down and go.
Sharp left hand right down the middle there from Simmons.
And the interesting thing is when you see somebody like Isom Riley against a heavyweight just below this level, he's able to do more offensively, but in this fight, only in spurts.
Combination there from Simmons as he turns Isom Riley once again.
I still think Simmons, you know, he bends his legs a little bit, keeps him at mid-range and digs hard to the body. Hard body shots. Right there, that's where he's got to go to the body, both sides. And then go upstairs with a flurry. He might be able to do more damage. Right there, I want to see it.
You know, it's ironic. The 6th round has been one of the better rounds for Isom Riley, not winning it, but he's actually done some very good offensive work.
Well, and this will be one of the entertaining things about watching Sardius Simmons' development going forward. Because he's an undersized heavyweight who fights the way he does and likes to fight on the inside, these are going to be high-contact fights all the time.
Yeah, really good point, and will make him even more interesting to fans.
Chopping left hand there from Simmons as we enter the final 10 seconds of the fight. A valiant effort from Lemir Isom Riley.
He definitely never quit in this fight.
Excellent performance from the National Golden Gloves champion from this year, Sardius Simmons, looking to improve to 4-0 in just a few moments. Speaking of heavyweights, get ready for an explosive night of heavyweight action as Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley go toe-to-toe in a high-stakes showdown at the iconic O2 Arena in London. The can't-miss pay-per-view will see 2 of the division's most dangerous contenders put it all on the line on October 25th.
That is going to be a fun fight.
And hey, Fabio Wardley, another example of a guy who came from white-collar boxing to becoming one of the most prominent heavyweights in the division. So you could take many, many journeys to the top of the mountain, and Sardius Simmons is hoping this is the beginning of his. Tough night, tough assignment for Lemir Isom Riley, but I have to say, in talking to him before this fight, Raul, what you gotta love in talking to him is he still feels, even with 6 losses, even if he loses this fight, he still feels like he's improving, like there is room to improve.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, listen, 2 weeks notice, he went the distance with Simmons, undefeated prospect. You know, we know the whole amateur resume. I guarantee you Isom Riley is going to get phone calls. The phone's going to be ringing, guys. And there's a lot of guys that are not going to be willing to take a risk with him.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said, even in his wins, he's beaten a couple fighters with decent, pretty good records. And that layer below Simmons, he's been able to do well against.
Hell yes. I'm coming.
Boy, that's a mouthful. And correct.
So we await the decision here. Our first taste of Michigan flavor here tonight. Of course, Flint's DeAndre Savage in our main event, taking on Brandon Moore.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put a big round of applause together for both of the fighters in the center of the ring. After 6 rounds of heavyweight action, we take it to the judges' scorecards. Judge Gross scores the matchup 58-56. Judge Santino scores it 59-55. And Judge White has it 58-56, all for your winner by unanimous decision, Sardius Simmons!
So Sardius Simmons improves to 4-0. There are a couple of the scorecards there, 58-56, and Al, those might seem narrow, but to me that also signifies, hey, the judges were judging this honestly. This wasn't just an A-side prospect, let's fill these in ahead of time. That's an honestly scored fight.
That is such an apt comment, because there were very close rounds in a couple of parts of that fight, and you're right, they were paying attention and they're fair.